my whole thing is no matter what I'm doing, it all, as long as it's feeding or pertaining to the dream, like that's like that's what encompasses me. But I'm saying regarding what you just said is living in the moment is, yeah, there are times when it's like, if I'm working on like a specific video, like I'm editing it, it's like, I just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, I still want the dream, even though like that's working towards the dream. It's like, I'd rather be doing something else. Like my brain, like I get bored very easily, as you remember, like I get very distracted.
Yeah.
So
same.
I just can't sit still. And I've learned to just, instead of being hard on myself, you know, embrace it, like adapt to it, kind of make it work for me, if that makes sense. So instead of fighting the urge, you know how like nowadays everyone's a guru, right? Everyone's, you know, trying to tell you how to live your life better. And everyone's like, oh, you gotta have discipline, and it's like, for me, it's like, you know, discipline is sitting yourself down and actually like working towards it, you know, giving yourself a set amount of hours. But in between those hours, if you take 10 minutes and you go on a website and you search up Amazon, like allow yourself, especially if you're that character, right? That can't stay focused for too long. You know what I mean? And I still get my work done, as you've told me many times in this podcast, like I'm being consistent. So it's worked for me. Again, I slip here and there. Sometimes I get carried away. But as long as I don't, because one thing I forgot to mention is, or I've mentioned it before on many podcast episodes, is I always fear burning out because I know what that feeling's like. I'm always on the cusp of it. It's really bad. I do video editing for a company in Los Angeles. And then on the weekends, I, you know, run my business. And as much as I'm having a great time, I'm grateful for the experience and everything. There's not one day of the week, I'm not kidding you, Jessie, where I just stay, like I do nothing. Like I'm working every day because I've developed this, you know, pattern, this routine that I just can't seem to like divert from. And if I do, I feel guilty, and it's really bad. It's like very toxic, like a relationship I have. It's like almost like being a workaholic. But I know that I have to give myself that break, right? That distance, in order to avoid being burnt out, especially characters like us, right? That could get bored very easily. So
yeah. Well, I'm the same way though, where like my problem is I don't say no. I bite off way more than I could chew. Where like I'm not just doing, so I do teaching during the day. And then just now I just finished this order, but I took on like a pretty large hoodie order where I did like grad sweaters for 2 different schools and like 3 different classes of them. So I had about like 70 hoodies that I had to make, which like, it's pretty time consuming, especially when I have other things on the go. So I was like working as a teacher from Monday to Friday. And then after school, working on the hoodies as much as I could. But then I also work at a bar. So like I do that on the side also. And then I also work at a PPE place. I actually did that before I did this podcast with you. Like, so I'm the same though. I like constantly doing stuff because I always need to be moving. I can't sit still too long because like I get in my head, see like you have a fear of burning out. I don't mind burning out. It's kind of bad. And it is bad. It catches up to me. I have days where like it catches up to me and I'm like, I really have like, but that's what it is. I just have bad days. Like I'll have like a really bad like day where I'm like, what, like this is not okay. But then I keep pushing because I'm like, I know that the minute I stay still, I'm going to hate it more. I don't like being bored. Sure. I really hate being bored because then it gets in my head and then I overthink and then I like start to like.
And that's something I was going to agree with you, is that exactly that's why I continue, because that stands like feeling stagnant, right? Because there are days where I just say to myself, you know, those people that go like, today I'm gonna take it for myself and just relax and like, you know, watch a movie. I literally tell myself that like a corny, you know, oh, I'm just gonna relax today, you know, maybe journal, some bullshit. And then I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do this. I gotta edit my podcast. I gotta like see if this guest wants to do this day and whatever. And I just get caught up in my work. The only reason with the whole burnout thing, the reason why I fear it is because a lot of what I do relies on creativity. Creativity flows easily when you're, you know, stimulated, when you're kind of optimistic, you know what I mean? When you have like that joy, that zest. So what I'm saying is like, and I write a lot too, right? That's what I do. I write, I direct. So I don't know how to explain it to you. Like when I write, if I'm not feeling it, like I still write, I push myself, but there's just a different energy when the mind's
it's like
open,
writer's block.
You know what I mean?
100%. Exactly. Totally. Yeah. You're not in that same kind of excited state where you're like not really trying to push it. It's like feels more like work.